Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah. A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to HJN. So for this episode here, I still got lots of subjects that I'm going to go forward with, so let's keep that in mind. But the subject that I got for this episode is Hertz. Hertz, in which case I would have pronounced it as Hertz. But in a way, that's something I'm going to go ahead and focus on sometime. But now, the usage of Hertz is basically just an increment to level the different types of radio transmissions and frequencies that a human being could possibly hear. Of course, the natural frequency occurrence from the lowest amount of hertz to the highest amount of hertz for humanity is usually 4,000 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Whereas some other animals out there, including cats, dogs, dolphins, they can have much higher frequencies that they're able to list it in. But me in particular, I feel like I'm a little better than some people. Somehow I'm able to hear higher levels of pitches and lower pitches where hertz ranges can drop below or above the average range. But of course, aside from all that, the usage of hertz as a frequency increment to measure the amount of hertz that are being used in a certain frequency pitch or whatnot, they've been used all the time. There have been a lot of conspiracies and stories going around based on the usage of hertz to calculate how loud a certain sound is out there. There have been a few stories out there, including the Russian broadcast frequency, as well as the humming frequency. But I suppose that the most famous one out of all of them, and my personal favorite out of all of them, would be the bloop. It has been a very mysterious type of sound out there that was able to be heard within a radius of 3,000 miles away from its source, just around the Pacific Ocean, not far away from Chile. Back in 1997, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration was able to detect this sound from way down below the surface of the water. And from the 23 years that have passed, there have been a lot of theories that have come around, and even more so, we've had a lot of other questions come around about it since then. But as it turns out, we still have no clear cut exactly of what could be down there. Of course, it was first thought to have been some sort of animal of some sort that was even larger than a blue whale, but eventually they ended up disbanding that in favor of a more realistic theory of having an iceberg scraping along the ocean floor. But it turns out that it's starting to become something else that'll be abandoned as well, because there have been more sound calculations upon that frequency level and upon this sound comparison that was similar to the original bloop. They happen to sound quite identical. And this was in much more recent times, especially within the 20 years that have passed. There are a few videos about it on YouTube that anyone could watch, or otherwise on actual sources that are credible and the like, so that we don't have to worry about getting scammed or none of that. But I'd say these stories about frequencies and hertz, conspiracies rounding about the different types of theories that can go around, they just never stop coming. But that's only because science has two sides to it, the good and the bad. The ugly is pretty much not around. But anyways, that's just what I see about the usage of hertz based on measuring the different frequency and radio signals and waves. But if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.